so to speak. I've said it several times in other interviews and such that I really hope that whatever little success I'm able to have, myself or any of my other fellow pros, that even Antigua and Barbuda, especially governments, can take notice and say, hey, bodybuilding is a sport we need to take seriously, and it requires some more funding and just more attention on a whole. Because at the end of the day, it's one of the more expensive sports to be participating in, and it receives probably, unfortunately, the least amount of respect as a sport on a whole by just the general public and stuff like that. So it makes it very difficult for athletes to really be able to compete, do well, and have something to look forward to. At the end of the day, we put ourselves to these diets, these rigorous diets for 6 months, 8 months, whatever the case is. This time I'll say for literally 10, 15 minutes to be judged by a panel of persons. And there's very little, if any, financial reward for it. And it's just a matter of doing it for the love of sport.
Okay, so like, alright, somebody might say, well, this is the life you chose, and you knew that going in. You mentioned that it's an expensive sport and what you, the athlete, put into it, right? What does, because everything comes down to the bottom line, what does the government, what does the country get out of you traveling and participating in these events?
That's actually a very good question. At the end of the day, we all look at, let's say, international sports and stuff like that, and you might say, okay, well, this country or this state, city, whatever, produces amazing athletes. What do they have there? Let's go and see. Let's go and meet some of the people, learn customs, rituals, whatever the case is. But it could even be down to the local cuisine that they consume. Why are these athletes so good? Antigua being a tourist destination, and that being our main source of income for the last whatever tons of years, that plays a part in that. Let's say, for example, I competed recently overseas, and persons I know seeing this Antigua and Barbuda on the list of athletes and stuff like that. So the first thing I always get is, where's Antigua? Because nobody really knows Antigua that well. We're Antigua is such a small island. And then they always say, oh, I heard so-and-so talk about that. I saw so-and-so mention it or whatever. What's in your country? What's the highlights and so on? So
this is what people are asking.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So we have an opportunity to somewhat sell the country to these international persons. And of course, at these competitions and stuff like that, we meet organizations, not necessarily just an individual, but organizations and stuff, where we can encourage them to come and visit Antigua. This, of course, brings tourism dollars to the country. Whether they pass into, because they want to go beyond a cruise that passes through Antigua, anything along those lines, it brings recognition and awareness of Antigua and Barbuda on a whole, which of course can bring in investors and just tourism traffic on a whole. And I feel like if the government is willing to invest, it's not even a ridiculous amount of money, but some money into having a team of athletes travel to these competitions to represent the country, we can get even more awareness, bring more persons passing through Antigua, bring revenue to the country and stuff like that. It can benefit on a whole once we have an opportunity to do so. We have a lot of great athletes that can't leave the country to do anything because they can't afford it.
Right. You said something that's funny. Were you guys, okay, first of all, so you've competed in Miami, you went to compete in Miami as your first pro show.
That's my first pro show, yes.
Right? And I want us to get back to your experience competing internationally. But the sport gets, you say, little to no attention, and definitely little to no money, right? Afraid to say so. When we look at our other sports that get more attention and money, outside of maybe cricket, and I'm gonna say cricket, cricket, the other sports, like, we can see how well they're doing, especially right now. Not very well. Okay, we have a few track and field athletes that are doing okay. Not just okay, more than okay.
Pretty well.
And we have a couple cricketers that just made West Indies team. But there has been a struggle to get Antiguans and West Indies team, even though very recently we've had like an influx. But outside of cricket, football is not doing very well. Basketball has not really been doing that well. But these are the more traditional sports that we pay attention to. Since you've become pro, yourself and Rosianne, we've had sort of recently quite a few pro athletes to join you guys. You could talk a little bit about that, because it just seems like if Antigua, unless we're going through some kind of fluke period, we're either becoming quite dominant, at least regionally, in bodybuilding. I guess we'll see how well these pro athletes do going forward. But we seem to be doing a kind of thing in bodybuilding. And perhaps it's time for the government to really pay attention to that now, because maybe we can have even more, and these athletes that are becoming pro can do even better going forward.
I guess first and foremost, I honestly don't follow the local sports that much. Honestly, I can be honest about that. I'm not necessarily interested in cricket and football and those types of sports realistically. However, I see the Observer every day or two over the cases. So you see the little highlights here and there. And in my opinion, especially within the last, I'm going to say, maybe 18 months or so, bodybuilding has been performing a lot better than most of, if not all, these other sports, realistically. Whenever we send athletes away to any competitions, we all bring back some hardware. As you just mentioned, we get a couple of programs. We've gotten, I turned pro in August of 2018. So between then and November, 17th, we've had 7 pros. And I mean, that's unprecedented. Almost across the board in any sport. I mean, to have that measure of success in such a short period of time, it needs to be taken notice realistically.
But to be devil's advocate now, do you think the proof is really going to come now when they compete on the pro level?
Definitely. Because of course, the amateur pro level, 2 different tiers altogether, and it will be kind of separated in the cream of the crop, if you want to call it like that. But it's always a case where, especially in this particular sport, there's levels of progression. Being a top amateur does not mean you're going to be a top professional. It takes time to develop your physique, to do well and progress in the sport. But that being said, you have to get to the level first and foremost. If you don't have an opportunity to compete as a top amateur to turn professional, then there's no progressing of the pro ranks. And the problem that we have realistically is getting to these competitions. So we have, of course, no local professional qualifiers. They're all overseas. That we have to carry a team to go over there to do it in the first place, to bring back home a pro card. But unlike, like you mentioned, cricket and football, where they send teams to compete regionally all the time, and of course, sending a team of cricketers, I imagine, is a fairly expensive venture. As opposed to maybe sending a team of, leaving, let's say, 5 bodybuilders, realistically.
I mean, and I'm not suggesting not investing the money in these other sports.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I pay attention
definitely
to these sports. I played these sports growing up. But also realize you need to invest in sports across the board.
Yes.
Period. It's not just about investing in. This is tourism too. It's not just about investing in hotels. Then you know what I mean.
Definitely.
It's sports and entertainment, really and truly. I think that's where it's at. Where the world economy goes. I don't know why we don't see that. You know what I mean. So it's not to take away from these other sports, but also remember not to neglect and start to pay attention to what this particular sport is doing.